Maybe there's just one conceptual thing that I want to kind of bring across so that we've set the foundation for our discussion. Let's talk about the word portfolio, because that's going to be in the background until towards the end, where we say, and to do all this, you need portfolio management. So let's define portfolios. The second responsibility of executives is financial responsibility, falls under the broad terminology weighted average cost of capital management or financial portfolio management. Financial portfolio management is when an executive says, my company is worth $100 million at the beginning of the year, how much is it worth at the end of the year? And this is one of the most important KPIs for his bonus and for all success criteria.
And we cover this as well.
Okay.
Because what we are going to see is we will not only be in the position to describe or plan the development of a company, because as we are using value chains, as we were mentioning before, we will also plan the financial outputs. And that's something that can then work together with the, let's say, standardized models of how to pay managers. That those targets become the criteria in their contracts. So everything goes hand in hand.
So let's clarify. Financial responsibility, fiscal responsibility, hugely important. Mechanical, you would say, well, what? That's financial portfolio man. That's not a project responsibility. That's financial officer, CFO. But let's go a step further, because this is the link that we're trying to create. You're going to talk a lot about strategy. There are 3 portfolios that everybody should be aware of, but I'm not always sure that they are, and how they work together. You have a financial portfolio, which means if I have 100 million, if the company's worth 100 million, and if I have 10 million to invest, how much of it am I reinvesting in my company? Because how does a company make money? It makes money by selling products, which is the second portfolio. Products. So anybody who knows anything about product management, right? Product portfolios, and then you have the Booz Allen Hamilton matrix, where you have the old terminology. You have a question mark, shooting star, cash cow, dead dog. Those are the old words. I'm an old fart, so I'm going to use those words, right?
Where we are to bring it back to what we started before in the RTB, in the run the business section,
which is and if I would add a third element to what an executive is responsible for, is to be kind of the overall umbrella manager of have an awareness of what the product. And Steve Jobs was a great example of this, right? Bill Gates was a great, Elon Musk, to say, you know what? And I heard this conversation really recently where somebody said, you know what? I'm not going to go to my engineers and ask them what great innovations they make. That's the wrong way to do it. I need to go to the market and ask them what is the next innovation that we can sell to the market. And then I go to the engineers, and then you have to match the two things. So that's the second portfolio that you need to manage, because the classical Nokia effect that you want to avoid is that you're a huge reputable company, but then you lose the innovation curve, and before you know it, you're gone.
And to bring it just to one, point with Nokia, what was Nokia's problem? They didn't have a vision. They made very good products, no question about it. But the next evolution. At certain points they chose to go in the wrong direction, because they did. I actually did some work for Nokia a long time ago in the training sector. I was actually in their innovation shop, and they actually had a smartphone. Just it was an executive decision not to go in that direction. Everybody, that's one thing that Apple was good on under Steve Jobs. When everybody was going in one direction, he said, no, we're going in this direction. And he managed to push it through. So those are the two: financial portfolio and product portfolios. The problem is, and you talked about change beforehand. You're not a bank, so you're not making money with money. You have to take the money and you have to invest it to make products. But making a product requires research and development, has a lot of uncertainty, needs focus, needs cross-functional teams, needs people who think outside the box. And that's where the third portfolio comes in. That's the in-between. That's the bridge between the financial portfolio and the product portfolio. So I have money, I invest it in projects. And research and development project. Change. Change is an investment without a guarantee that you have a return. Absolutely.
But the key is, even if your hit rate is 1 out of 10, like in the pharmaceutical business, 10% of the products developed in pharmaceuticals make it money, but they make so much money with it, that's a good business. So you have a financial portfolio,
You have a project portfolio, which is projects last for a certain period of time. And when they're finished, what does a project produce? A product.
And the process, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully a process and a product. So projects are the bridge between the financial portfolio and the product. And these are the three things that actually executives are responsible.